It's coming down. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm once again back in Wollemi National Park in New South Wales, Australia. I was in the same area a couple of months ago where I had a bivvy camp on the banks of the Colo river. Now we're doing a trail today that leads us again to the same river but a little bit more downstream, and we're gonna cross that river because I am aiming to stay the night in a cave, at least a shallow rock overhang. But apparently it's quite difficult to get to the cave. You have to bush bash for about 2.5 kilometers or 1.5 miles. So it's going to be slow going, but let's see how we go. Now weather wise, temperature wise is perfect. It's maybe around the 12 to 14 degrees Celsius, which is a really nice temperature, and there's no wind at the moment, but there's rain forecasted today and tomorrow. Later this morning it's expected to start raining. We had already rain here overnight and I can feel the vegetation is quite wet, so we're definitely going to get wet today. Got my Wechsel Pathfinder with me. It's a new tent, used it once a couple of weeks ago. An absolute fantastic compact tent. I also brought a small tarp, but I'm only going to use that if I have to camp on the bank of the river. If I make it to the cave, then hopefully we don't need it. So the trail that I'm following descends for about 350 vertical meters to the Colo river. Here we are at the Colo river. So here I have to make a decision. I've got two options. The harder option is to cross this river, follow the bank about 2.5 kilometers stream upwards, which will be very difficult, to find the cave and to stay the night in the cave. Or we set up camp here, which is not a bad option obviously. It's pretty awesome here. But the river is pretty big here, pretty wide. There's hardly any current, so that's obviously a good thing. Now I'm gonna follow the bank a little bit to see if there's an easier spot for crossing, and I will see what we will do. Oi, oi, oi. It's pretty epic here, but and deep. I don't know where people mostly cross this river. If I would step off this, it goes down 1.5 meters roughly. I'm not sure it's visible, but this here, it's I think 1.5 meters deep. I can't touch it with my walking pole. So yeah, can only imagine get a bit deeper over there in the center. Well, the cave is located in that direction, so I'm just going to walk here on the right bank of the river to see if there's a better crossing. Looking at the maps, doesn't look like this is going to be a better option, but I'm just going to have a look. So the problem with the river crossing is I can't tell how deep it is. Probably if I would cross it here, the deepest is probably chest height, but I'm not sure. I can't see it from the bank, so it's a bit tricky. Well, actually we just start getting some light rain, and I'm thinking maybe I use this opportunity to set up camp. At least I can do it in kind of dry conditions. Let's make a decision here. I'm going to stay here, set up camp. I'll go back up the sandbank here, find a nice spot and set up camp. One thing that was in my mind when putting up a camp here, because it's a rain that is forecasted, the river levels may come up, but I think where I am now I'm quite safe. If you watched my other video where I did my PV camp on the sandbank along this same river, that looks so similar. Let's find a nice spot. Probably around here, that's fairly level. I don't expect much of wind, but we will get substantial rain later today and definitely overnight. So this is my new tent, the Wechsel Pathfinder. Second time I'm using it. Absolutely love it. What an awesome little tent this is. So this is my setup. I extended the vestibule of the Pathfinder with this nice tarp. Probably should add a guy line to this hook here, but it's not really necessary. The two here on the side, they will keep it in place. I just want to make sure that water obviously runs off nicely. I waterproofed this tarp only a couple of months ago, so it's the first time I'm going to use it in the rain, so let's see how well it works. Camp is all set, nice and cozy. So the good thing is there are no insects around, or at least so far. No mosquitoes or any annoying flies. So I'm exploring the river a little bit. I'm following the bank upstream. Looks like the water levels have come up to this point, which is a good 6 to 8 meters, maybe even 10 meters from the sandbank I was just standing on. Wow, hopefully it does not happen tonight. So I walked a couple of hundred meters, and there is actually a really nice bank over here. This rock here is pretty much level with the sand. That could make a nice camp as well. Definitely for a bivvy. So I'm heading back to camp and maybe go for a quick swim. Temperature wise it's quite nice. Don't know about the water, but I was here about 2 months ago and the water wasn't that cold, so I expect it to be still quite similar. Ooh, that's way colder than I expected. Oh. Whew. And it's deep. I can just stand there and just talk. Ooh, that's cold. I think I made the right decision. We have to cross the river in the summer. It was way colder than expected. Actually, it feels good now when I come out. Let's go in once more. Oh my god, that is cold. You will not see me doing that too often on this trip. It feels fantastic when you come out of the water, by the way. Standing here, it feels really good. You can feel that cold is disappearing, and whew, I think we're getting some proper rain now. Another Dutch treat. Je wilde koeken. They call it here almond rounds. Need to make a cup of tea. The waterproofing seems to work well. No, nothing coming through the top. I'm pretty happy with that. Cheers. So the weather is changing quite rapidly now. Well, here we are in the wilderness and in the rain. So the rain is not so hard, but it's constant, and I expect we will have rain the rest of the day and during the night. Would be nice if you have a couple of hours of dry weather tomorrow morning, so we can pack things up in the dry, but I suspect it will be raining. Setup is working quite nicely. As I mentioned before, the tarp is definitely waterproof now, so it's really nice. I'm probably gonna make some dinner. I brought some burgers, so I'm gonna make a couple of burgers. Let's see if that goes. It's coming down. That is one way to dry out the shoes. Looking promising. We're gonna have a cheeseburger. Got some cheese on the roll. Let's see if this tastes okay. Pretty good. I forgot the veggies. I bought some paprika or capsicum. Ooh, it's nice and sweet. Uh-oh. Well, the tent smells like a hamburger joint. Whew. But that was quite tasty, I have to say. I actually normally don't really eat meat. I'm not a vegetarian per se, but I rarely eat meat. But this was quite okay. Well, as the weather forecast predicted, we had rain pretty much from the moment I set up camp. Just hope tomorrow morning that we have a couple of hours of dry so I can pack. I don't mind if it rains while I'm walking back to the car, but packing in the rain is never nice. I'm very keen to check if there are better places to cross the river. I'm glad I didn't really attempt to cross the river because it is indeed very deep and it is ice cold. It is freezing. So next time, probably in the early summer or maybe in the spring. Well, the rain just stopped. I'm gonna have a quick look downstream, but it's 4:30, so we don't have much daylight left. Well, it's getting dark now. Probably have a good 5 minutes left. Just wanna have a look here at some rocks, but probably have to do it tomorrow morning. But now it's really nice. The rain pretty much stopped. But yeah, no daylight left. Well, good morning. It's 5:30. Still very dark, but the rain has stopped. I hope it's dry for a couple of hours so we can make some breakfast and pack the tent. Gonna make some porridge with milk. And here is the milk. It's milk powder, obviously. I used it in the past a fair bit. It tastes actually quite okay. Cinnamon with brown sugar. All pre-mixed. Tastes like milk with a little bit of imagination. Alright, that should be ready in no time. And to complement my breakfast, I got 3 more of those Dutch biscuits, the gevulde koeken. That would add some calories and get me back to the car. It's actually really sweet. So before I walk out, we're going to check a few of these rock features here. I had a look at it yesterday just before sunset. So here is a rock overhang. Makes a really good shelter. Perfect for a bivvy. And after all this rain, there's no standing water. Looks a little damp, but that's all. I love the rock formation on the other side. Quite spectacular. Different section of this river. You can see here a lot of sand has built up this section of the river, and it looks like it's probably not as deep as where I was last night. But then again, if you stand on the sand, you probably will sink up to your knees into it. I saw some photos from people crossing the river. My suspicion is they did it over there where there's very small rapids are. That's obviously some rock, and I saw them actually standing on rock. I'm glad I could pack up in the dry, but to be honest, didn't expect it. This is quite a nice end to an interesting walk. Actually a walk I didn't plan. It was only really on Friday morning that I decided to come down here. And I'm going to do a big walk next weekend over 3 days with Durko. You'll probably recognize him from previous videos. So it's going to be awesome. It's going to be in the snowy mountains, or at least near the snowy mountains. Well guys, I'm going to wrap it up. So I'm going to go back to my backpack and walk out the way I walked in yesterday. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did so, please give it a like, and it would be awesome to have you as a subscriber. And I hope to see you next time. Ciao.